first in war, first in peace, first in the hearts of his countrymen. That is what Henry Lee, known as Light Horse Harry, said about George Washington, the first president of the United States. We are looking at the presidents of Mount Rushmore, and we have looked at Theodore Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and now finally today, George Washington, our first president. He was an amazing man. Being that he was the first in the hearts of his countrymen, well, that referred to his great leadership through the Revolutionary War, the stories of his leadership and how he kept things together and the victories he won and how he responded when in the battles lost and how the leadership that he provided to get us through the war truly brought us to that place where we could establish an independent country called the United States of America. An amazing man. But you know, when he was just 15 years old, he wrote in his own handwriting 110 rules of civility and decent behavior in company and conversation. That's what he called it. Here's some of what he wrote. When you speak of God or his attributes, let it be seriously and with reverence. Honor and obey your natural parents, although they may be poor. Let your recreations be manful, not sinful. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. For a 15-year-old, at least in our society today, that is pretty insightful, isn't it? Some great stuff there. Well, question. Did George Washington believe that God was involved in the establishment of the United States? Well, listen to his words. May the same wonder-working deity who long since delivering the Hebrews from their Egyptian oppressors planted them in the Promised Land, whose providential agency has lately been conspicuous in the establishing these United States as an independent nation, still continue to water them with the dews of heaven and to make the inhabitants of every denomination participate in the temporal and spiritual blessings of that people whose God is Jehovah. I'd say he believed that God was involved in our country. You know, he had a lot to say about what will keep America great. And he talked about reason, the ability to reason. He said it is impossible to account for the creation of the universe without the agency of a supreme being. It is impossible to govern the universe without the aid of a supreme being. It is impossible to reason without arriving at a supreme being. Religion is as necessary to reason as reason is to religion. The one cannot exist without the other. A reasoning being would lose his reason and attempting to account for the great phenomena of nature had he not a supreme being to refer to. What will keep America great? Keeping reason and religion. Religion, a belief in the supreme being. And of course, in George Washington's mind, that was the Christian religion. In his farewell speech on September 19th, 1796, he said, "The name of American, which belongs to you, in your national capacity, must always exalt the just pride of patriotism." Patriotism is a word that has come into kind of disdain in our society amongst many, isn't it? It's when you use the word patriotism, it's almost considered to be some kind of extremism. But he said that we must have pride, the pride of patriotism, more than any appellation delivered from local discriminations. In other words, more than any local identity. With slight shades of difference, you have the same religion, which in George Washington's mind was the Christian religion. You have the same religion, manners, habits, and political principles. Of all the dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports. In vain would that man claim the tribute of patriotism who should labor to subvert these great pillars of human happiness, these firmest props of the duties of men and citizens. What are those two great pillars? Religion and morality. Now, dear ones, would you say that those two pillars, religion, morality, are under attack in our society today? God help us. We need to listen to these great men of the past and these founders and men like our very first president, George Washington.